Oh my God, what live are we on? Oh, okay. We are on 1656. This is Yin Yang in California with morsels of a thought of wisdom. We are in, where did all my rules books go? Ah, okay, here we are. All my rules books are right next to me. Don't panic. Carry on. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California. My light fell down. My Facebook and my connections suddenly decided to go away without warning. StreamYard is having some kind of issues, supposedly. And so I am currently broadcasting just on House Cat Tracks. Yin Yang will take a share later, but it will have to be later. So I'm going to be reading from the books for you. Confidence is good, and I wanted to read from the green book. And did I take out the green book cover? No, I did not. Let us see if we can do that right now. I will show you. No, I will not show you because that will take forever. Too much time. I am going to read to you. Wait at least 4 hours to answer a guy's first text and a minimum of 30 minutes thereafter. Now, this is hard to do, very, very hard to do. I am going to read it, but you have to understand that it is excruciatingly difficult. It is, oh, by the way, um, I am wearing what I would normally wear on a date, to a date. My friend gave me advice, and it's a loud shirt, but it's a calm jacket, kind of. Kind of. It's a bright color, but I love it. I don't know if Sherrie Schneider and Ellen Fein would love it. I'm going to ask them later, and we'll see. But I'm a coach. I'm not a coach. I want to try to say I am not a coach. I'm trying to say I'm a buddy. The buddy word didn't come to me, and then it came out the wrong way. I have not taken the coach course. So I am not a life coach. I am not a rules coach. I'm not a coach of any kind at this time. So at this time, I am a rules. I can be a buddy of yours. I can give you my non-expert input, but I am not a coach. I do participate in coaches' activities, such as the rules telephone support group facilitated by Edna McIntosh. It's going to be on tonight. If you have read the book or books and you know that you would like to use the rules, then please do attend. I will put the phone number in the bottom. And when you are interested in going on Facebook, go on Facebook and look for the Rules Support Group and Advice for Dating and Real Life by Shannon Powless, a Canadian woman who is a life coach who does the rules. So Shannon Powless is not a rules coach, but she is a life coach who knows the rules thoroughly inside and out, much like I do, but she is a life coach. And Edna McIntosh is a coach of many kinds as well. She is also a life coach and a business coach and a rules coach who has taken the coaching seminar. I think it used to be $1,200. I don't know how much it is now, but when I say used to be, it would be 20 years ago. So if you want to become a rules coach, you must read some of the books, if not all of them, and attend the course or courses by the authors. And those are available online at, I think it's therulesbook.com. And if you go to Facebook, they also have a Facebook page, The Rules Book. And here we are. So I'm doing morsels of a thought. My morsels of a thought of wisdom are intended to give you ideas on what to do. Today we're focusing on women who are dating men or women who are married to men. And I like to give you hints out of the books that I mark up with bookmarks that fall out. And here we are. Rule number 6 in Not Your Mother's Rules by Fein and Sherrie Schneider. More bookmarks. The new secrets for dating, and now with their daughters too. Wait at least 4 hours to answer a guy's first text and minimum of 30 minutes thereafter, rule number 6. Now, you are probably wondering how and when to respond to a guy who does text you first. Now that we already know that we don't text men first. By far, the most frequently asked question we get from clients and readers is, I just got a text from a guy I like. When do I write back? And what do I say? Please get to me ASAP. Please get back to me ASAP. They put it in there when they talk to the authors. We all know intellectually, the authors are saying this, we all know intellectually that this question is not a real dating emergency. We have true emergency consultations, like finding messages from another woman on a guy's phone or a boyfriend walking out after a fight. Obviously, we drop everything to help these clients. Yet, there is something about receiving a first text from a cute guy that feels like life and death. A little bell, yin yang giggles, A little bell goes off, bringing about a sense of urgency to answer it. We live in an instant gratification society, and texting is the pièce de résistance. Pièce de résistance. All rules girls know not to call men and to rarely return their calls, a rule that still applies today. But technology has changed so much in the last 20 years that a text cannot always be treated in exactly the same way. After discussing with our daughters and through many consultations, we realized some major differences. A guy will call again if he doesn't get you, but texting is sort of like a phone call that reaches you every time. There's never a bad time for either party, and it's never intrusive. If you don't text back at all, he may not know you are waiting for another text or even a phone call. He may just interpret it as a rejection, as if you actually said, no thanks, or he may think you are playing some kind of game. Indeed, not answering a guy's text at all or taking too long to do so when the whole world is glued to their phones will raise all kinds of red flags. Did she read the rules? Is she not interested? Or is she just pretending not to be interested? We want to avoid any such possible problems. The authors Fein and Sherrie Schneider. In Shannon Palace's Facebook group, you must mention a book that you are interested in reading before being accepted into the group. Why? Because sometimes people are applying to the wrong group and they're actually thinking of totally different authors at all. Okay, just to let you know. And for Edna McIntosh's call, only call if you are absolutely interested in doing the rules. And the authors say, before our first book came out, no one questioned a woman when she took hours or even a day or two to call a guy back or even rarely returned his calls. But for the last 20 years or so, with the popularity of our book and its infiltration into our culture and lexicon is a dictionary, our vernacular, the rules has been mentioned on sitcoms, talk shows, and in magazines and newspapers. Guys sometimes get suspicious that you are playing the game if you don't contact them back in a reasonable amount of time. All the more reason we are saying not to ignore texts or wait days to get back. Don't be impossible to get. They said that in the first book as well. Don't be impossible to get. As you can see, my books are always right near me. Don't give guys reasons to find you rude or difficult before the first date. We have interviewed guys on this subject, and while most said that not hearing back from a woman for hours wouldn't stop them from asking her out, they felt that not hearing back at all would be irksome and a possible sign that she was not interested or employing some kind of dating strategy. As Oprah famously said on her show, Guys like a rules girl, they just don't want it to be because she read a book. Okay, so that way we keep it a secret that we've been reading these books, and I've been doing it for years, so keep it a secret for me, huh? Not through 1656 live shows. No. We, the authors here, do not want to teach women to insult men. Okay. The authors, Ellen Fein and Sherrie Schneider, they say, our official answer about when to respond to a first text is to wait somewhere between 4 and 24 hours, depending on your age. 4 hours is for the younger set, for those in college and women in their early to mid 20s who grew up with texting and Facebook. The older you are, the longer you should try to wait. For example, a 30-year-old should wait more like 12 hours, and a 40-plus-year-old should wait a day to reply. See text back times chart on page 66 to 67. That will be in a couple of pages. Yes, we have to wait to get to that. But it's a little more complicated than that. If a guy texts you for the first time at, say, 9 or 10 a.m., you wouldn't write back exactly 4 hours later while you're at school or work, because theoretically you're not checking your phone all day long. You would wait until after you clock out and leave, whenever that is. So the minimum of 4 hours means you just do it at the next reasonable segment of time. When you clock out, maybe at 5 or 6 or something. If our suggested minimum wait time falls during the middle of your day, keep waiting. Remember that it is a minimum, and you can't be expected to look at your phone all the time or give the impression that you do. If a guy texts you for the first time in the late afternoon, say at 3 or 4 p.m., you should write back later in the evening, after the time you would be at happy hour or dinner with your friends. You can even wait until the next morning. What if you got home late from a movie? In this case, you're giving the impression that you're out doing something fun in the evenings rather than sitting around and fiddling with your phone. If a guy first texts you after 8 p.m., you should not write back 4 hours later at midnight, even if you are in the younger age group. You're better off waiting until the next day to avoid late night texting. In this case, you should write back on your way to class or work the next morning. These text back times do not apply to weekends, specifically from Friday at 6 p.m. to Sunday at 6 p.m. This zone is a blackout period. Just like airlines have blackout periods in which you can't use your frequent flyer points, so do rules, girls. Weekends are a dead zone. Now, I learned on the site that Shannon Palace hosts that DZ means dead zone. D0 means date zero. So if we say DZ for date zero, we're a little off the mark, but not really. I mean, weekends are a dead zone. DZ. You're unavailable. You're unreachable. You're busy. You're gone. But don't get mad that he's texting you on Saturday. He may have been spoiled by non-rules girls who put up with even who put up with or even initiate weekend text chat fests, but you aren't one of them. Don't text lecture him with, "Why are you texting me on Saturday? Why didn't you just ask me out by Wednesday for Saturday?" Instead, silently show him that you are not available by not responding at all during the weekend, so he knows he must make plans in advance in the future. You can text him back on Sunday night. "Thanks. Sounded good, but I already had plans." The only exception to this rule is if he already asked you out by Wednesday for Saturday night and is texting during the dead zone to confirm plans. Otherwise, you are blocked out from casual texting on the weekends. This is Morsels of a Thought number 1656. That's how many days I have come to you in a row. I have come to you in a row, 1656 days, in order to bring you morsels of a thought of wisdom. The morsels of a thought of wisdom are for the purpose of learning the right things to do for your own self. Learning the right things to do is a learning wisdom. Learning, knowing the right thing to do is a form of wisdom, and doing it is called an act of virtue. So when we do what we know is the right thing to do for ourselves, we are committing acts of virtue. Even if it looks like it just benefits ourselves, it turns out that you are changing the energy of the universe to become more filled with virtue. I want to do that. So if I've borrowed lots of wisdom from authors on different days, and here we are today. It is TR Tuesday. TR Tuesdays and TR Thursdays, I read from Ellen Fein and Sherrie Schneider's books. Okay. Now, otherwise, you are blocked out from casual texting on the weekends. There is, however, one exception to waiting. If he needs an answer right away because he wants to buy concert tickets or something else time sensitive and needs to make sure the date is good for you, you can quickly write back, hey, the 14th at 8 p.m. sounds great, TX, exclamation point. But do not abuse this exception or use it as an opportunity to start an unnecessary longer conversation. Most women, especially those who don't know that dating is strategic, text men back in nanoseconds. So we had to come up with a sensible text back time plan that women of all ages can use to delay their natural tendency to respond too quickly and to write more than he does. To a, hi, it's Stephen from the other night. How are you? First text, the average woman will write back in 2 seconds. Nice to hear from you. Actually, I'm on my lunch break right now, so heading over to the library to check out a self-help book my friend told me about. LOL, my car needed to be inspected, so I left it at the shop this AM. So I'm just walking everywhere today. What's up with you? End quote. These women are spoiling guys now more than ever. Remember, it's just a first text from a new guy. Yin Yang will say, those are date questions. Those are questions that you ought to be talking about those sort of things while you're on a date. Okay. All right. The authors say all he wrote was, how are you? He did not ask for your life story. If you took 4 hours and wrote back a brief response, it would be absolutely fine. No big deal. In other words, don't interrupt your physics lab, yoga class, or business meeting to answer his text. It can wait. He can wait. You feel compelled to text back paragraphs right away. Lest what? Another girl will text him and take him away with her quick and witty response? More likely he will think you are busy and or with other guys, and that would be a good thing. It's important to realize that for a guy, not every text is as earth-shattering as it is for you. He could be texting you while filling his tank at the gas station. For guys, texting can be fun, like a sport or video game. But for a girl, a text from a cute guy is really special, like winning the lottery. In the midst of 20 other messages from girlfriends, coworkers, her parents, and her sister, there's a text from the guy she really likes, and it's all she can think about. Before reading our book, she writes back immediately. Within an hour or hasty texting back, within an hour of hasty texting back and forth, they know more about each other than would have been divulged on a first date. During a lull, she goes over the conversation to dissect its meaning. She might forward it to her friends to understand exactly what he is saying. She studies it like an SAT prep book or the scriptures with a capital S. Typically, this woman ends up in a chat fest that doesn't lead to a date. Certainly not a Saturday night date, and then contacts us for help. She doesn't understand why her relationships are casual or fizzle out despite a promising he spoke to her first beginning. She thought she should be available and text guys back nonstop to keep them interested. Not true. That's why we are writing this book. Stop treating texts like an emergency that it requires an immediate response. After you read this chapter, texting back in nanoseconds should feel like touching a hot stove. Like, ow, right? Ow. No. There's another critical piece to this rule. After you do text back, limit the conversation to 15 minutes or 10 total exchanges. This strategy makes him wonder what you are doing, creates anticipation, and forces him to ask you out to have a relationship. All these things are good, so don't feel guilty about them. Brittany, 22, met a guy at a party who walked over to her. Promising beginning. He got her number and texted her the next day. Hey there, so glad we met last night. I was wondering how your day is going. Okay, what was a promising beginning? What was her next move? 4 hours later, she wrote back, nice meeting you too. Work is good but crazy busy! Exclamation point. Exclamation on the other one too. She had wanted to ask him how his day was going, but we advised her against it, reminding her that she wanted him to ask her out. We told her to be witty but brief to prevent endless chatter. Prevent endless chatter. He wrote back 5 minutes later, what do you do for work? She wrote back 30 minutes later, I'm a pharmaceutical sales rep. He wrote back 3 minutes later, do you get to try out all the drugs for free? Ha ha. She wrote back 20 minutes later, nope, comma, LOL. 2 minutes later, he wrote, so what do you like to do for fun? Maybe we can go to the movies. Are you free this Saturday night? She wrote back 30 minutes later. Yes, that would be great. She doesn't answer that first question, right? She answers the ones that have to do with a date. Notice that, notice that, notice that. That's what Ed McIntosh says. Mission accomplished. No chat fest. And this rules girl got a date. Okay, so we are going to talk about Stacy 24 next time. The highlights here are never assume a guy is asking you out and don't volunteer your schedule. Make him pin you down for a specific night. And of course, don't text him back immediately. And when you do respond, mix it up and write fewer words than he does. Okay, so, oh, and in addition, never double text. Which means writing twice before he responds once, as you will come across as too eager. We have a text back time chart. We've gone through it before last year, but I want to go through it again next Thursday in 2 days. And it's a big chart, as you can see on this page. There is an addition to it that Edna McIntosh tells us about, which is that people my age should wait approximately 24 hours after each text, approximately, until he asks you out on a date. And that's the addition to that part. Oh my God, my nose is so itchy. Why? Sometimes it means somebody's thinking about me. I hope everybody's thinking about me. We're thinking about women dating men, single women dating men, or married women using time-tested secrets to make your marriage work. Also by Fein and Sherrie Schneider. They have their daughters, they have themselves as examples, they have a rules handbook. The rules handbook is a guide to creating loving and lasting relationships of any kind. And those mean that even men can use them. And men, try to appreciate your rules, women, and say hello, 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 John Clark. Hello, Gina Potov. Hello, Colleen Jacobs. Hello, Ellen Fein, Sherrie Schneider, and everybody who comes to the replay. Okay, old Kinderhook. Bye bye.